All right, guys, welcome back. It's Tush coming at you. It's the beginning of a new work week. It's Monday, and we're out here after work to pick up where we left off on the last video on the 1959 Triumph TR3A Restoration Project. We talked about this area here as maybe my next plan of attack. And I don't know if you can really see this area, but it's had a lot of hammering over the years, and it's pretty fatigued up in this area as well. And you can see I've outlined an area there where I'm just probably gonna be better off to cut that out and put in new metal versus trying to rescue what's there or simply body working over it. So we have the wheel of death out, and we're just about to cut this little section out, and then we'll create a patch and weld some new metal in there as the first project of the evening. Hopefully we'll be able to go up a little bit further and maybe fix this area up here. So we may be doing a two-part patch. I'm a little bit concerned about this fastener pickup location here, about getting in the way of that. So it's like there's a big welded threaded washer in behind here that we have to be concerned about. So anyway, let's cut that section out and have a look at it when it's cut out. All right, the deed is done, and we have a big hole to fill up now. You can see the bracket here, which holds the windscreen in behind. So we're going to clean this up a little bit. Here are the two pieces of metal that we extracted, and they actually don't look too bad on the back side. Looks like still some factory red oxide primer there. This piece has seen a little bit, it was a little bit worse for wear, so I'm glad I cut that piece out. So this one has a little tiny bit of curvature to it. I think you can probably see that. So we'll have to shape this upper patch a little bit, but this bottom patch, we should be able to it should be fairly flat. It's got a little bit of a curve in it, but some of that's due to all the hammering on it. But we'll create that patch, get that welded in the lower patch first, and then we'll concentrate on the smaller patch at the top. All right, we've got the patch pretty well made, and I was able to take into account pretty much everything I needed to, including this little piece here that we cut out. We got a little bit of a curvature in the piece. We've got the hole drilled for the bracket, although I'm probably going to enlarge that slightly. It's just a little bit offline, but other than that, it fits pretty darn well. So as long as we can get this welded in without warping it too badly, we'll be in good shape. So we're just going to take our time and weld this in, and we'll call this little area done. All right, guys, that area is now finished, welded and ground, and it came out pretty well. It's a little bit of a sink over here. You can probably see my weld line showing there. I don't want to go too thin on it, so I've just left it. We're going to add a little bit of filler over top of this. We'll probably do that now. After we repair, there's a little pinhole here that we need to fix up here, and then I think the welding repairs in this area will be done, so I should be able to do some body work on this area right away. Well, it's already scratched up and cleaned with 80 grit. May as well do the body work in this area. So that'll be the next step. All right, we're making a mess out here, but we're making progress. I think you'll agree that that looks 100% better than what it did before I started. So here's what I'm doing. I know some of you guys are going to be critical of me doing Bondo directly on metal. or directly on the bodywork prior to doing epoxy primer. And I've already mentioned in a previous video that my personal preference is to do bodywork directly to metal and then to overcoat it with epoxy primer. So all I've got on here now is just a coat of regular, just gray high build primer that we'll be sanding off when we actually get ready to epoxy the whole entire car. So we'll actually epoxy over our bodywork, then we'll do a high build urethane primer on top of that, or a polyester primer. Haven't decided yet. We'll see how the bodywork goes. So that's the intent of what we're doing out here as far as our bodywork is concerned. And we'll go back and refine this a little bit if required. I noticed up here there's a few sanding scratches actually that I didn't quite get out with the finer grit sandpaper, but we can capture all of this stuff once we get to the final stages of doing bodywork. And like I said, this will be all stripped back down to filler once that primer is removed before we go to epoxy back over the top of this. So that's looking good. I'm happy with that. We can move on to, well, first of all, we're going to clean up. And second of all, we'll move on to another area to have a look at. All right, guys, for the next project, I figured I would sort out the transmission tunnel cover. I got 3 of them, and none of them are usable in the current state. So they all have different issues. This one is pretty bent up. This car was actually in an accident, and the actual tunnel is quite twisted, and it has some flange issues on it as well, and some torn fastener locating holes, but not too bad a shape. Obviously that round hole where the gator would go for the shifter is pretty bent up, but that could probably be fixed. This one has some rust issues along the flanges on both sides. This one's a little bit better, a little bit more intact, but it's pretty thin. There's a little hole down the bottom here. This one's had a hack on the top of the cover. Somebody's cut into that for God knows why. But other than that, it's pretty solid, except this metal here is quite thin and rusty. So let's have a look at the other one. Well, the other one has got a huge, very flat dent in the top that I'll probably have problems getting out. So that's the first issue with that. Secondly, it's got issues with the flanges like the other one as well, on both sides, missing a flange down here at the bottom. So it's amazing how similar all of these covers look. I don't think I've ever seen one come off a car that's been half decent and usable as is. So I got to make a decision on what I want to do as far as what cover to use. I was thinking about grafting in a piece on this side here from this cover here. So, you know, just cutting it back here at this bolt up location all the way up and back to this bolt hole location, because this cover is quite solid. I mean, the flange would still have to be repaired, but the cover is very solid up in this area where this one is quite rusty and thin. At the very least, I would have to cut out all of this metal here and replace it, I believe. I haven't gone to town with a grinder or wire wheel yet, but I think when I do, it's just going to expose a lot of holes. There's no way I'm going to be able to weld anything to that. That's the issue. Even if I wanted to just replace the flange, I don't think this is going to take any weld because it's just so thin. So I have to make a decision what I want to do. And I think my best course of action is to do the cut from this piece and then graft it into this piece, although that's a heck of a lot of welding, but it's going to be a lot of welding regardless, and I still have to repair a flange regardless. So anyway, I think that's what we're going to do, and of course I got to fix, if I decide to use this cover, I got to fix that up there, which is no big deal. Anyway, decisions. We'll figure out what we're going to do. All right, guys, I decided to go ahead and clean up the rusty one with a wire brush and grinder. And it's actually not that bad. It does need a section probably replaced all the way along down the bottom here, just where this rivet is here, where a button would actually be like this one. So if I cut it just below this hole here, all the way down to about here, and replace that in the flange, it should be good in this section. I think what we'll do is we'll cut this bottom flange off. We'll rust convert this and see if it comes up okay. And then we can make the repairs not only to this flange, but also flip it over on the other side. We've got to do the other flange as well as this top, whatever that is in the top section. And then we're just going to make sure that this flange is solid enough down on this side. I might have to do a little bit of rust repair in here. Again, we'll hit it with a wire brush and see how that comes up. So I think that's the plan, and we'll use this one. All right, we've got the sections cut out that we needed to get cut out there and on the top side. And we used some gelled rust remover. We just brushed that on there. We'll probably come out and do another coat later on tonight, but we'll see if that takes effect. It's supposed to turn the metal black and convert the rust. So we'll see if it does the job. I have used this product in the past and it does work. So like I said, we'll come back probably in an hour or so, give it another coat, and then probably just leave it overnight, and we'll get back to this project tomorrow. All right, guys, it's the next day, and my first task of the day was to wrestle out this big 4x4 piece of sheet metal out from behind my poster over there. We just didn't have quite enough metal to do the repair here on this transmission tunnel. We didn't have quite enough length with the scraps that we had laying around. I was thinking about doing a two-part patch, but then I thought, well, that's just being lazy. We'll go to the effort to drag this piece of metal out and cut some off. So here it is. So we're just about to break up the jigsaw, cut off a piece long enough to do that flange piece, or that repair piece and the flange. We'll bend it the best as I can with my little bench vise. I don't have a brake here, so we'll have to make do with what we have. So anyway, let's get to town and we'll cut a piece off. We'll form it in there and weld it into our transmission tunnel to make it look like new. All right, we've got our patch made to the best of our ability. It seems to be fitting in okay. So there's what it looks like there. Something like that. So we'll see if we can get this welded in. Yeah, like I said, the metal is a little thin in places, still a little pitted, so it's going to take a delicate touch to get this in there. But let's see what we can do. Okay, so that flange piece is looking pretty good. We'll trim it down to size after we get this other little area fixed in here. So we're going to create a little patch for this area here. And like I said, we'll break out the cutting wheel and we'll just trim this flange to whatever we need it to be. So we're getting pretty close to having this flange piece repaired. And we'll go after this piece up here and repair that. All right, guys, we're going to call that flange repair done, with the exception of the holes that I need to drill for the floor pan mounts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to install it in the car. I'm going to mark the holes from the bottom up to make sure that they're in the right location before I go ahead and drill them. So we'll do that after. I'm not going to grind this down any further than this. Yeah, it looks a little bit ugly with the grinding not ground all the way down, but I'd rather have it a little bit stronger in this area than weaker. And if I grind those welds anymore, like I mentioned, that metal at the top there is a little bit weaker since it's 50 plus years old. So I'm just going to leave the welds as they are and not worry about it. It's going to be covered with carpet and probably a bit of heat shielding material anyway. You'll never even see it. So we moved up to our focus now to this area here, and we're just about to cut out a patch to basically graft in here and leave this hole. I believe this is for the dipstick. There's a dipstick in the transmission, so this would be the area you would be able to pull out the rubber plug and check your oil level in the transmission. At least on the older transmissions they had that, the later ones they didn't. Anyway, we'll make this patch, we'll weld it in, grind it down, and then we'll come back. All right, one more area done. So I think what we're gonna do now is we're gonna break out the DA sander and give this whole trans cover a quick cleanup and sand down, including the inside here, which is extremely greasy and grimy, undercoated, etc. So we're going to try to clean all this up. I'm going to need a little heat gun to get that all scraped off. So it'll probably take a few hours to clean this up and get this back into somewhat better shape so we can just utilize it when we're ready. We'll just drop it in, be able to drop it in the car. So I may clean the bottom up and actually truck bed liner it. In the top, I might just throw a quick coat of black paint on it just to preserve it until it's ready to go in the car. All right, so that's the next step. So first thing I'm gonna do is clean up this garage. It is an absolute disaster. So, driving me crazy. All right, now that we've got the garage cleaned up, we're gonna make it dirty again. So we're gonna work on the inside of this first with a heat gun and a scraper to get off all this goo, as mentioned. And then we'll go to town on the outside with the sander, the DA, with 80 grit and get that prepped up. So yeah, we're just about to make a big mess again. All right, we spent about an hour on it and we've got it looking pretty good down to the red oxide primer. We did clean the inside as well. We've got it sitting in front of the heater here. And what I've done is I sprayed it with some metal ready, some Pour 15 metal ready to get rid of some of the surface rust on the inside. It's actually pretty good here on the outside. Just on the underside, still a little bit surface rusty. So we've just sprayed that. I'll show you which product I'm talking about here on the, so I'm just using this, come on, metal ready. So we'll let it soak for 30 minutes. We'll keep it wet. We'll just keep sort of misting it for 30 minutes. Then we'll rinse it and then we'll get this thing ready for primer and paint. All right, we're all cleaned up and ready to go. I've got my mask on. We're just gonna hit it with some bed liner on the inside and some semi-gloss black on the outside. So just got it warming up here. It's only about 60 degrees Fahrenheit in the garage. So we'll set it up on the garbage bag over here on the other side and we'll go to town and give it a couple coats and let it dry overnight. All right, guys, just after 9 p.m. when we're out to shut it down for the night, and we thought we'd take a quick look at how the cover turned out. And I think it turned out pretty well. Looks 100% better than it did. There's the outside and looks just as good on the inside with the truck bed liner. So yeah, a few runs in there. It's due to it being so cold, but again, it's the bottom, so it doesn't really matter. So it definitely looks good. So I think we'll call an end to the video and we'll upload what we have on the two projects that we did. So thanks for watching, thanks for commenting, and thanks for subscribing. We will see you on the next video. Oh, what's that? Oh, you want to see it in the car? Okay. One last shot before we go. There it is. Looking good. Good night.